the moment Joe Rogan stepped onto the stage. The tension in the room was palpable. Cameras flashed, fans whispered, and rumors that had been simmering for weeks suddenly exploded into full-blown speculation. Everyone had been asking the same question: what was really going on with Erika Kirk? Joe, known for speaking his mind with brutal honesty, didn't hold back this time. "I don't know if I can fully trust what's happening here," he said, his eyes narrowing as the audience leaned forward, hanging on every word. Gasps filled the studio as Joe continued, hinting at secrets that might shake the very foundation of Erika's world. Social media immediately erupted. Fans were shocked. Clips of Joe's tense expressions went viral, with comments flooding in about the hidden drama no one had dared to discuss publicly. But it wasn't just skepticism, it was betrayal. Hints of past actions that had left friends questioning Erika's loyalty. Whispers of late-night calls and mysterious disappearances that no one could explain. Joe's voice trembled slightly, not from fear but from the weight of what he was about to reveal. "I've been seeing signs, things that just don't add up," he admitted, and the room went silent. The kind of heavy silence that makes every heartbeat echo in your ears. Eyes darted to Erika, sitting in the corner, her expression unreadable, a tight smile masking a storm of emotions. Friends tried to intervene, but emotions ran high, and accusations hung in the air like a thundercloud waiting to burst. As Joe described moments that only insiders could know, the audience gasped again, realizing that this wasn't just gossip, it was a revelation that could change everything. And then, just as the tension reached its peak, he dropped the bombshell question: "Has she already moved on?" The words seemed to hang in the air, a challenge and a provocation all at once, sending shivers down the spines of everyone watching. The family was left divided, whispers spreading like wildfire, and the fans online couldn't stop debating. In that instant, the world of Erika Kirk was no longer private. Secrets, lies, and possible betrayals had just been exposed, and everyone wanted to know, what happens next? The tension in the studio was almost unbearable as Joe Rogan leaned back in his chair, fingers steepled, eyes scanning the room as if searching for invisible clues. The audience, a mix of loyal fans and curious onlookers, waited with bated breath, knowing that whatever was about to spill could shatter the fragile peace that had surrounded Erika Kirk for months. "Look, I don't usually say things like this on air," Joe started, his voice calm but carrying an undercurrent of unease, "but there's something going on, something off, and I can't ignore it anymore." Whispers rippled through the crowd. Cell phones came out, ready to capture every pause, every flicker of doubt crossing Joe's face. The tension was palpable, almost tangible. Erika, seated across from him, maintained her composed exterior, but there was a flicker in her eye that betrayed the storm inside. She shifted slightly, smoothing the folds of her dress, her mind racing through the possible outcomes of Joe's words. Fans had been debating her every move online for weeks, some defending, some attacking, but now the questions were no longer hypothetical. They were live, in front of everyone. Joe's gaze fixed on her, not aggressively, but with a piercing intensity that made it clear he wasn't there for a casual conversation. He had been observing, questioning, and now he had to confront what he had noticed. "I've seen patterns," he said, voice low, deliberate. "Things that don't make sense unless there's more going on behind the scenes than anyone knows." The audience shifted, leaning forward instinctively. Murmurs spread like wildfire. Erika's closest friends in the room exchanged uneasy glances, sensing the gravity of the moment. A familiar voice in the background, one of Joe's producers, muttered, "This is going to explode." But Joe didn't flinch. He continued, weaving a narrative that hinted at secrets, half-truths, and possible betrayals. "I'm talking about behavior that doesn't line up with what she's been saying publicly. Late nights, unexplained absences, messages deleted before anyone could see. Fans might think it's normal, but for me, it raises red flags." Suddenly, a clip from a previous appearance of Erika flashed on the screen behind them. She was laughing, talking about commitment and loyalty, a stark contrast to Joe's. The audience gasped, some leaning back in shock, others whispering to their neighbors. "It's the contrast," Joe explained, "that tells you something isn't right. Fans see one side, but the reality is often hidden." The tension was punctuated by an awkward silence, broken only by the faint hum of the studio equipment. Then came the phone call, a pre-recorded clip that Joe insisted needed to be aired for context. It was a casual conversation, seemingly innocent, but the undertones were unmistakable. Erika's voice was light, carefree, discussing plans that, to an outsider, might seem trivial, but Joe's interpretation suggested intimacy, secrecy, and perhaps a move toward someone else. The crowd reacted audibly. Fans were shocked. Some began recording, anticipating a viral moment. Joe watched carefully, making sure every inflection was noticed, every pause dissected. "See that?" he said, pointing subtly to the screen. "The way she talks about these plans. It's the kind of thing you'd expect if someone's already emotionally moved on from what they publicly claim." The camera panned to Erika. She smiled politely, but her hand twitched slightly, betraying the calm facade she tried to maintain. In the back of the room, whispers of disbelief and speculation grew louder. A friend leaned toward her, murmuring, "Don't let him push you into saying something you'll regret." But Joe was relentless. He wasn't attacking, at least not yet, but he was exposing cracks that were impossible to ignore. "I want to be clear," Joe said, raising a finger for emphasis. "This isn't about judging or spreading rumors. It's about noticing patterns. Fans don't always see what we see when we're up close. It's the subtleties, the contradictions, that tell the real story." He paused, letting the words sink in. The tension in the room was thick enough to cut with a knife. Cameras caught every reaction. Erika's composed nod, the shifting discomfort of her friends, and the wide-eyed shock of the audience, who suddenly realized they were witnessing a confrontation that could alter public perception entirely. Then the conversation took an unexpected turn. Joe leaned in, lowering his voice. "I've also spoken to people who know her closely, people who have seen things firsthand. They're concerned, not because of anything malicious, but because actions and words aren't aligning. It raises questions, difficult questions that everyone deserves to hear." He glanced at Erika, who finally allowed a small frown to crease her forehead. She responded with a measured tone. "Joe, I don't know what you're implying, but let's be honest. Assumptions can be misleading." The studio erupted into murmurs again. Fans shouted into their phones, trying to capture every moment. Joe nodded, acknowledging her point but not relenting. "Assumptions," he said slowly. "Maybe, but when multiple sources, multiple observations point to the same inconsistencies, you have to consider that there might be more than meets the eye." The tension was electric. The audience was hanging on each word, some leaning forward, others covering their mouths in disbelief. The storm of speculation had become unstoppable. Outside the studio, social media was already ablaze. Clips of Joe's remarks went viral within minutes. Fans debated endlessly. Was he being fair? Or was this an ambush? Some defended Erika passionately, while others scrutinized every past action, every interview, every public appearance. Hashtags started trending. Theories multiplied. The drama wasn't contained to the studio, it had spilled into every corner of the internet, turning a single conversation into a worldwide spectacle. Inside, Joe's next revelation hit like a thunderclap. He recounted a private dinner where Erika allegedly interacted with someone in a way that many would consider inappropriate for someone in her position. "It wasn't obvious at first," Joe explained, "but after seeing it multiple times, patterns emerge. Subtle gestures, glances, moments of laughter that seemed secretive." The camera zoomed in on Erika, whose expression was nearly imperceptible but tense. She tried to brush it off, but her friends noticed the subtle exchange of glances, the shifting posture, the quick intake of breath, all signs, to those watching closely, of a woman caught in a precarious balance between her public image and private actions. And then came the most dramatic moment of all. Joe leaned back, voice dropping to a near whisper. "Fans, I'm going to say something that may shock you. There's reason to believe Erika may have emotionally moved on. Already, the signs are subtle, but undeniable. And if that's true, then everything we thought we knew about her loyalty and intentions might be questioned." The room fell silent. Jaws dropped. The family and friends present exchanged uneasy. Glances. The audience's reaction was instantaneous, a mix of outrage, disbelief, and fascination. This wasn't just entertainment anymore, it was a revelation, a scandal unfolding live. The cameras captured it all. Close-ups of Erika's calm facade, tight smiles that didn't quite reach her eyes, subtle shifts in body language, and the murmuring crowd. Joe's gaze never wavered, steady and deliberate, emphasizing every word, every insinuation. The tension built, like a storm gathering strength before breaking, leaving everyone in the studio and at home hooked, waiting for the next moment of drama. As the discussion continued, Joe began to dissect past interactions, conversations, and public appearances, piecing together a narrative that suggested hidden motives, unspoken desires, and potential betrayals. Fans were captivated, the story evolving with each new detail. Whispers of secrets, hints of clandestine meetings, and subtle accusations painted a picture that was as compelling as it was scandalous. Erika, meanwhile, navigated the storm with careful grace, but every twitch of her fingers, every slight hesitation, only added fuel to the growing fire. And just as the audience thought the tension had peaked, Joe dropped another bombshell. "I've received messages from people claiming insider knowledge," he said, voice low and serious. "They insist that things are not as simple as they appear. There's more happening behind closed doors than anyone realizes. And if we're not careful, the truth might be buried beneath layers of deception." The murmurs grew louder. Fans shouted questions, cameras panned frantically, and the energy in the room became almost unbearable. The evening stretched on, each revelation adding weight to the growing storm. Joe dissected every nuance, every interaction, and every gesture. Erika responded carefully, diplomatically, but the cracks in her composed exterior were becoming visible to the trained eye. Fans were glued to the screens, the lines between reality and speculation blurring with each passing moment. The narrative of trust, loyalty, and potential betrayal unfolded like a dramatic thriller, leaving everyone questioning what they had believed about Erika Kirk. By the end of the segment, the atmosphere was electric, charged with suspense, speculation, and undeniable drama. Fans were left talking, debating, and replaying every moment. Social media buzzed, hashtags trended, and the storm of rumors escalated. Joe Rogan had ignited a fire that no one could contain. A story that would continue to ripple through the world of entertainment, relationships, and public perception. The seeds of doubt had been planted, the questions laid bare, and the stage was set for even more shocking revelations to come. The room was still buzzing from Joe's last revelation, but the drama was far from over. As cameras rolled, he leaned in, voice lower, almost conspiratorial. "There's something else I need to point out," he said, eyes narrowing slightly. "Something that fans might not notice at first glance, but those who know her or have been close to her will see immediately." The audience leaned forward instinctively. Whispers filled the studio, some trying to interpret his meaning, others speculating wildly. Erika's expression remained calm, though her fingers tapped nervously on the table, betraying a tension she couldn't fully hide. Joe paused, letting the suspense build. "I've noticed patterns in her social interactions," he continued. "Certain people she reaches out to late at night, messages deleted before anyone can see, meetings that conveniently happen away from prying eyes. These aren't coincidences." Fans at home were glued to their screens. The chat exploded, with comments. "Wait, is she already seeing someone else? Joe knows something we don't. Erika's hiding something." The energy was electric. In the studio, Erika's friends exchanged worried glances, whispering to one another. One leaned toward her, saying quietly, "Stay calm. Don't let him push you." She nodded subtly, but the tension was written all over her body language. Joe, ever observant, seemed to notice but didn't comment. He was building a narrative, piece by piece, letting the story unfold naturally, as if the audience were detectives uncovering a hidden truth. "Fans, I'm not saying this to attack her," Joe emphasized, gesturing with his hands for clarity. "I'm saying it because there's an energy shift, a pattern, something that makes me skeptical. And skepticism isn't mistrust, it's observation. Pay attention to the small details, because they tell the real story." He paused, glancing at the monitors, replaying clips that subtly highlighted Erika's interactions. Her laughter with certain individuals. The glances exchanged in moments that seemed casual but were loaded with unspoken meaning. The audience's reactions varied from disbelief to shock, some whispering to neighbors, others recording for social media. Erika finally spoke, her voice calm but layered with emotion. "Joe, you're making assumptions based on what? Subtle gestures. I can assure you, what you're interpreting isn't reality. It's perception, often misleading, often incomplete." The statement drew murmurs from the crowd, some nodding in agreement, others skeptical. Joe nodded, acknowledging her point, but his expression remained unwavering. "Perception is reality when patterns persist," he replied softly, "and patterns tell a story that sometimes words do not." The tension escalated when Joe revealed a private dinner he had attended weeks earlier, where Erika's behavior allegedly raised eyebrows. "It wasn't obvious at first," he said, leaning back, "but after observing closely, certain actions repeated themselves. Gestures, laughter, tones of voice. Things fans would never see on camera." The crowd reacted audibly. Fans gasped, some whispering in disbelief, others frantically typing theories on their phones. Erika maintained composure, but her subtle glances toward her friends betrayed a worry she couldn't fully mask. The drama deepened when Joe played another pre-recorded audio clip. Erika's voice was warm, playful, discussing plans that, in the right context, suggested intimacy or secrecy. The audience's reaction was instantaneous. Fans were shocked. Some sat back, stunned, others leaned forward, hanging on every word. Joe emphasized every pause, every subtle inflection, making sure the audience grasped the potential implications. "See that?" he asked, pointing to the screen. "That's the kind of nuance that tells a bigger story, and trust me, fans, it's just the tip of the iceberg." Erika's friends in the room whispered among themselves. One muttered, "This isn't just speculation anymore. He's dissecting her life." Erika took a slow, deep breath, trying to maintain calm. "Joe, I've been transparent about my life," she said, voice firm. "You're reading too much into coincidences. People always want to find drama where none exists." Joe smiled faintly, not dismissive but deliberate. "Sometimes coincidences aren't coincidences. Patterns reveal the hidden story." The energy shifted when Joe revealed a message he had allegedly received from a close insider. "This person asked to remain anonymous," he said, "but the details they provided suggest actions and intentions that don't align with public statements." Fans, this is where skepticism isn't just caution, it's necessary. The murmurs grew louder. Some in the audience gasped, others whispered speculation. The storm was escalating. Erika's composed exterior was cracking, her friends growing visibly anxious. The tension was electric. Each revelation another spark in a room already on fire. Fans at home reacted instantly. Hashtags began trending. Videos of Joe's statements went viral, and speculations spread across social media like wildfire. Clips of subtle glances, laughter, and private moments were dissected by viewers worldwide. Fans debated endlessly. Was Joe being fair? Was Erika hiding something? The story was no longer contained to the studio, it had taken on a life of its own, sweeping across the internet with unstoppable momentum. The next twist came when Joe highlighted a past incident where Erika's actions allegedly contradicted previous statements. He described a conversation where Erika's public persona seemed perfectly aligned with commitment and loyalty. Yet private behavior suggested otherwise. "Fans, I'm not fabricating this," he said, voice low and deliberate. "I've observed and gathered details. The contrast is undeniable. It raises questions fans deserve answers to." The audience gasped again. Whispers filled the room. The energy was thick, almost tangible, each person holding their breath in anticipation. Erika responded carefully, choosing words to maintain composure while protecting herself. "Joe, interpretations are subjective. Your perspective is not the only one, and assumptions can be dangerous." Joe nodded, acknowledging her, but the intensity in his gaze suggested he wasn't backing down. "Interpretations become reality when multiple observations point to the same pattern," he countered. "Fans, what we're seeing is worth noting. It's not malicious, it's critical observation." Suddenly, Joe introduced another element, a social media post by Erika that had gone largely unnoticed. He analyzed the caption, the timing, and the subtle undertones in the comments she engaged with. The audience leaned in, captivated. "This is where patterns matter," Joe explained. "Subtle gestures, deleted posts, private interactions, they all form a picture fans rarely get to see. And sometimes, that picture reveals truths people aren't ready to confront." The murmurs intensified. Some viewers at home replayed the segment, scrutinizing every detail, every pause, every expression. The drama had transcended the studio, evolving into a full-blown spectacle of secrecy, suspicion, and potential betrayal. As part 2 neared its close, Joe's tone shifted slightly, more serious, almost solemn. "Fans, the stakes are high. What we're uncovering isn't just gossip, could redefine the narrative people have about her publicly. Loyalty, trust, emotional commitment, these aren't trivial matters. They affect relationships, perceptions, and how fans engage with someone they admire. And right now, the story is unfolding live." The audience remained riveted. Erika's composure was a delicate balance, her friends exchanging anxious glances. The tension had reached a fever pitch, leaving everyone in the studio and at home hanging on the edge, anticipating the next revelation that could change everything. The tension didn't ease as part 3 began. If anything, it intensified. Joe leaned forward, elbows resting on his knees, voice measured but edged with urgency. "There's more to this than just patterns," he said, eyes flicking to Erika. who met his gaze with controlled calm. It's about behavior over time. Consistency or the lack of it tells the story fans can't always see on camera. The audience was silent, hanging on each word, every subtle inflection magnified by the dramatic weight of the room. Whispers ran through the crowd as fans tried to decode what Joe was implying. The phones in the studio flashed constantly, recording, live streaming, capturing the unfolding drama in real time. Joe recounted a series of private events, seemingly innocent on the surface, that painted a picture fans weren't expecting. Late-night texts, unplanned trips, meetings in places away from prying eyes, all subtle but telling. "I'm not saying anything improper," Joe clarified. But when actions consistently contradict public statements, fans are entitled to notice. It's about understanding the difference between image and reality. The audience gasped collectively, some murmuring in disbelief, others leaning closer to capture every detail. Erika's composure was impressive, but the slight tightening of her jaw betrayed her inner conflict. The drama escalated when Joe shared a message he claimed came from someone close to Erika, someone who had observed her interactions firsthand. "They're worried," Joe said, lowering his voice for effect, "because what they've seen doesn't match the public narrative. And when people we trust share these observations, fans have to pay attention." Murmurs ran through the room. Erika's friends exchanged anxious glances, whispers of stay calm passing between them. She smiled politely at the audience, but there was a subtle unease in her posture that didn't escape Joe's attention. As the segment progressed, Joe began dissecting specific moments from past interviews and appearances. Every laugh, every glance, every fleeting gesture was analyzed in detail. "Fans, look at this," he said, pointing to a clip of Erika laughing with a friend off camera. "It seems innocent, but notice the body language, the way she shifts when someone mentions a name. Subtle, yes, but consistent." The audience reacted audibly. Fans at home were already rewatching the clip, dissecting every detail, trying to spot the subtle signs Joe highlighted. The energy in the room was electric. Erika finally spoke, her tone measured, calm, yet layered with an emotion she couldn't entirely mask. "Joe, I don't know why this is being read as a scandal. People interact. People have private lives. Assuming intentions based on gestures or fleeting expressions is dangerous." Joe nodded slowly, acknowledging her, but his eyes betrayed the seriousness of his observations. "Interpretation becomes reality when consistent patterns emerge," he countered, "and fans deserve to see all sides, not just what's presented publicly." The tension ratcheted higher when Joe referenced a private gathering, allegedly attended by Erika, where her behavior raised eyebrows. "I'm not exaggerating," Joe said, voice calm but intense. "Those who were there noticed small things, gestures, the way she engaged with someone new in the room. Subtle, almost imperceptible, but enough to spark speculation." The audience reacted, whispers spreading across the studio like wildfire. Erika's friends shifted nervously, while she maintained a polite smile, her eyes occasionally darting toward the monitors as if searching for reassurance. Joe continued, dissecting social media activity, deleted messages, and cryptic posts. "Fans, subtlety matters," he said. "The things people don't see often tell the real story. Gestures, timing, context, they reveal intentions. Patterns are emerging that fans have a right to know about." The room was silent, the weight of Joe's words hanging heavily in the air. The audience was captivated, fans at home rewinding clips, analyzing gestures, body language, and tone, debating what was fact, what was interpretation. The drama deepened when Joe introduced another element, a contrasting interaction from a previous interview where Erika had publicly declared loyalty and emotional commitment. "Look at the contrast," he urged. "On camera, she speaks of loyalty. In private, patterns suggest a shift. The discrepancy is significant." Fans notice. Murmurs turned to audible gasps. Erika's composed expression never wavered, but the faint tightening of her shoulders betrayed the tension beneath. Then Joe shifted to a more analytical tone. "Fans, let's talk about context," he said. "I've gathered information from multiple sources, moments where words and actions don't align. It's subtle, yes, but undeniable when you connect the dots. Patterns, repetition, gestures, they speak louder than statements." The audience was riveted, the room buzzing with energy. Cameras captured every micro-expression, every twitch, every subtle reaction, turning the studio into a theater of suspense and speculation. As Part 3 unfolded, Joe's focus turned to Erika's closest friends and family. "Fans, reactions matter," he said. People around her noticed subtle shifts, body language, tone, social interactions, they all reveal emotions that may not be expressed verbally. Friends, family, Even casual observers can spot inconsistencies. Murmurs spread through the audience. Fans at home debated fiercely. Some defended Erika, citing over-analysis, while others scrutinized every gesture, every glance, every carefully crafted public statement. The drama was now unstoppable, spilling into the digital world, where fans dissected, debated, and speculated. Erika's friends whispered urgently among themselves. One leaned in, muttering, "We need to stay composed. Don't let this spiral." She nodded, maintaining her calm demeanor, yet the tension was palpable. Joe watched, noting the subtle shifts, the slight unease, the micro-expressions that fans at home would soon analyze frame by frame. The narrative was evolving, a story of loyalty, doubt, and hidden intentions, all unfolding live, leaving everyone questioning what was real and what was perception. The crescendo built when Joe revealed another private interaction, allegedly suggesting Erika's emotional shift. "Fans, observe carefully," he said. "Gestures, tone, the way." Gestures, tone, the way she interacts with certain people, patterns emerge. It's not about judgment, it's about observation. Subtle, yet significant, the studio erupted in whispers and murmurs. The audience was captivated, recording every second, sharing, analyzing, theorizing. The energy was electric, a perfect storm of suspense, speculation, and entertainment. By the end of Part 3, the atmosphere was thick with tension. Fans were debating online, clips went viral, hashtags trending globally. Inside the studio, Erika maintained her composed exterior, but the subtle signs, the slight frown, the fleeting hesitation, the controlled breaths were impossible to ignore. Joe had effectively orchestrated a narrative that blurred the line between speculation and revelation, leaving the audience hooked, desperate for more, and eager to see what would happen next. The drama was far from over, and Part 4 promised even more twists, secrets, and shocking insights that would continue to captivate fans worldwide. The energy in the studio was electric as Part 4 began, the audience hanging on every word Joe Rogan spoke. "Fans, what we're uncovering isn't surface-level drama, it's layered, complex, and involves subtle dynamics most people don't notice," he said, voice calm but edged with intensity. Erika's composed demeanor remained, but there was a slight tension in her shoulders, a flicker in her eyes that betrayed the inner storm. The murmurs in the audience grew louder, some whispering speculations, others leaning closer to catch every nuance. Cameras captured every twitch, every subtle gesture, transforming the studio into a theater of suspense. Joe leaned back, scanning the room as if calculating the impact of his next words. "Let's talk about consistency," he continued. "Over time, we see patterns that don't align with public statements. Gestures, tone, body language. Fans often miss these things, but they're crucial to understanding the reality behind what's being presented." The crowd leaned in, murmurs growing. Phones flashed, recording, live streaming, documenting the unfolding drama. Erika's friends exchanged uneasy glances, whispering quietly. She maintained a calm smile, but her hand twitched subtly, betraying the anxiety beneath. The drama escalated when Joe introduced another element, private social media activity, deleted messages, cryptic captions, and indirect comments that suggested connections fans weren't meant to notice. "Fans, the subtleties here are important," Joe explained. "Small gestures, timing, context, they reveal more than words ever could. Patterns are emerging, and they paint a story that's impossible to ignore." Gasps rippled through the audience. Viewers at home immediately began rewatching clips, dissecting every gesture, tone, and expression for hidden meaning. Erika spoke carefully, her voice even but firm. "Joe, you're drawing conclusions from assumptions and interpretations. What you see isn't always reality. Subtle gestures don't equate to intent or emotion." Joe nodded, acknowledging her, but his expression remained focused, serious. "Interpretations matter when they're consistent," he replied. "Patterns across time and context reveal truths fans might not otherwise perceive." The audience reaction intensified when Joe detailed a private dinner where Erika's behavior allegedly raised questions. He described gestures, laughter, and interactions that seemed subtle but were consistent enough to spark concern. "I'm not suggesting anything inappropriate," he clarified, "but patterns exist that deserve attention. Fans notice these things, even if they're hidden beneath surface appearances." Murmurs grew, whispers spreading through the studio. Erika's friends tried to provide reassurance, but the tension was palpable. Joe continued, dissecting past interviews and appearances, analyzing how public statements sometimes contradicted private actions. "Fans, notice the contrast," he said. "On camera, She speaks of loyalty. Privately, patterns suggest a shift. It's subtle but undeniable. Audible gasps filled the studio. Cameras captured every detail: Erika's tight smile, subtle eye movements, and the shifting posture that betrayed her composure. Fans at home debated fiercely, some defending her, others analyzing the nuances Joe highlighted. The drama deepened when Joe referenced insider messages suggesting concern about Erika's emotional alignment. People close to her have noticed patterns that raise questions, he said, voice low. Fans, it's not about gossip, it's about observing reality through consistent behavior. Murmurs ran through the room. Erika's friends exchanged worried looks. She maintained composure, but the tension in her body was visible. The narrative took another twist when Joe highlighted previous social interactions that suggested emotional shifts. Gestures, laughter, private messages, all were pieces of a larger puzzle. Fans, observe carefully, Joe instructed. These small moments tell a bigger story. Consistency over time matters. The studio audience was riveted, cameras capturing every reaction. Fans at home replayed clips, dissecting expressions, tone, and body language. The suspense was palpable. As Part 4 progressed, Joe's focus shifted to the reactions of those closest to Erika, family and friends. Even casual observers could sense inconsistencies. Fans, reactions matter, he said. When people around her notice shifts in behavior, subtle or otherwise, it reinforces patterns that are worth observing. Whispers spread through the audience. Viewers at home debated, analyzing past events, previous interactions, and the implications of Joe's observations. The drama was spiraling, captivating fans globally. Erika's friends whispered urgently, trying to maintain composure. One muttered, "We need to stay calm, don't let this spiral." She nodded, preserving her polite demeanor. Though subtle signs of anxiety were visible, Joe observed closely, noting micro-expressions, gestures, and body language. The narrative he was weaving blurred lines between speculation and revelation, keeping fans on edge, eager for the next shocking detail. The climax of Part 4 arrived when Joe highlighted a sequence of interactions suggesting potential emotional movement. Subtle glances, casual laughter, indirect social media references, all pointed toward a shift. Fans, patterns are everything, Joe emphasized. Gestures, timing, and context reveal intentions that words sometimes hide. The murmurs in the studio intensified. Fans at home debated online, dissecting clips frame by frame, trying to decipher what was true, what was speculation. The tension was electric, impossible to ignore. As the segment neared its close, Joe's tone grew more serious. Fans, the stakes are high. This isn't just gossip, it's about perception, loyalty, and emotional commitment. Patterns we're observing could redefine how we view her publicly. And right now, the story is unfolding live. The audience was captivated, Erika maintaining composure but with subtle signs of tension. Friends exchanged anxious glances. The drama was far from over. Part 5 promised even deeper revelations, shocking twists, and moments that would leave fans worldwide desperate for answers. The tension in the studio had reached an almost unbearable level as Part 5 began, the audience hanging on Joe Rogan's every word. Fans, we're entering the most critical part of this story, Joe said, voice low but deliberate. It's where patterns, gestures, and interactions converge to tell a narrative that's hard to ignore. Erika sat across from him, maintaining her composed exterior, but the slightest tightening around her eyes hinted at the storm beneath. Whispers and murmurs ran through the studio as fans recorded, live-streamed, and speculated, the air thick with anticipation and suspense. Joe leaned in, fingers steepled, gaze intense. Let's discuss the private gatherings, he said. Those moments off camera, away from public scrutiny, reveal subtle behaviors fans rarely see. Gestures, laughter, the timing of interactions, they're telling. They hint at intentions and emotional shifts that are not obvious at first glance. The audience responded audibly. Gasps, whispers, and quiet exclamations filled the room, each person processing the implications of Joe's observations. Erika's friends exchanged nervous glances, their expressions revealing concern despite Erika's outward calm. He pulled up another clip, highlighting interactions that seemed casual but, when analyzed, suggested emotional complexity. Fans, notice the way she laughs here, the way her eyes shift. Subtle, yes, but consistent with other moments we've observed. It's these repeated patterns that form the story we're seeing unfold. The crowd leaned forward, murmuring among themselves. Phones flashed, capturing every moment for social media. Where speculation and debate had already taken on a life of their own. Erika finally spoke, her voice steady but layered with nuance. "Joe, what you're interpreting as emotional movement could be anything. Gestures, glances, they don't necessarily mean what you think." Joe nodded, acknowledging her, but his gaze remained sharp. "Interpretation becomes reality when patterns persist," he replied calmly. "And patterns don't lie, even if individual moments can be misleading." The audience reacted, some nodding, others gasping, and fans at home immediately began replaying past clips to analyze for themselves. The drama intensified when Joe referenced insider messages and private accounts, suggesting that Erika's emotional focus might be shifting. "I'm not spreading rumors," he said, voice measured but serious. "I'm highlighting observations that align across multiple sources. Consistency matters, and fans deserve to see what's happening." Whispers filled the studio. Erika's friends shifted uncomfortably, while she maintained her polite smile, her fingers tapping slightly on the table in an unconscious display of tension. Joe dissected past interviews, pointing out moments where Erika's public declarations of loyalty contrasted with her private interactions. "Fans, observe the subtle differences," he said. "Public statements versus private behavior, they don't always align, and when they don't, it raises important questions about emotional alignment and commitment." Audible murmurs ran through the crowd. Cameras captured every micro-expression. The slight frown, the tension in the shoulders, the fleeting hesitation, all signs to an observant eye of inner conflict. As Part 5 progressed, Joe shifted to social media analysis, examining deleted messages, cryptic captions, and private exchanges. "Fans, these small details reveal a larger story," he explained. "Subtle interactions, timing, and context all point to an emotional shift. The narrative isn't always visible in public appearances, but patterns don't lie." The audience responded immediately, some whispering, others typing furiously, analyzing past clips, and debating what was fact and what was interpretation. The tension deepened when Joe referenced interactions with people close to Erika, highlighting gestures, tone, and body language that suggested subtle changes. "Fans, reactions of those around her matter," he said. "When friends and family notice inconsistencies or shifts in behavior, it reinforces the patterns we're seeing. And patterns tell a story." Whispers intensified in the studio. Erika's friends exchanged nervous glances, trying to maintain composure. She nodded politely, but the subtle signs of stress twitches, tight lips, shifting posture betrayed the calm exterior. Joe continued with a detailed analysis of public versus private persona. Every laugh, glance, and tone was examined for emotional context. "Fans, notice the contrasts," he said. "Public loyalty, private behavior patterns emerge that are hard to ignore. Gestures, timing, repeated behaviors, they all tell a story about where emotional focus lies." The audience was captivated, some gasping, others whispering, and social media was already ablaze with debates, hashtags, and clips dissecting every moment. As the segment approached its climax, Joe introduced a revelation regarding a recent private event. Subtle glances, playful interactions, and private conversations suggested potential emotional movement, all aligning with the patterns previously discussed. "Fans, observe carefully," Joe instructed. "Gestures, timing, and interactions reveal intentions beyond words. Consistency is the key." The studio erupted in murmurs. Viewers at home dissected clips frame by frame, debating every inflection, every pause, every subtle shift in expression. Erika's friends whispered urgently among themselves, "Stay calm. Don't react," one said, attempting to stabilize the situation. She nodded, maintaining her polite exterior, though the tension was visible in every micro-expression. Joe observed closely, noting body language, subtle signs of discomfort, and micro-expressions that further validated his analysis. The drama was at its peak, the narrative unfolding live in front of an engaged, captivated audience. By the end of Part 5, the atmosphere was thick with suspense. Fans were debating online, clips went viral, hashtags trended globally, and the studio was alive with anticipation. Erika maintained her composure, yet subtle signs of anxiety were visible to those who knew what to look for. Joe had masterfully orchestrated a narrative that blurred the lines between speculation and revelation, leaving the audience eager for the final part of the story. Part 6 promised the ultimate twists, confrontations, and shocking moments that would leave fans worldwide desperate for resolution. Fans, after everything we've uncovered, you're probably sitting there wondering what it all means. The drama, the tension, the patterns we've analyzed, it's a lot to take in. What we've explored isn't just idle speculation. It's a narrative that fans everywhere are dissecting, debating, and reacting to in real time. Joe's observations, Erika's subtle gestures, private interactions, and the layers of behavior we've highlighted paint a picture that isn't fully visible to the casual viewer. And that's exactly why your voice matters in this conversation. We've seen emotional shifts, moments of tension, and instances where private actions seem to contradict public statements. These aren't trivial details, they're the nuances that fans notice and dissect, forming theories, debates, and sometimes even alliances online. Some of you might feel defensive, believing the story has been unfairly scrutinized, while others are watching intently, piecing together the clues, trying to understand the real intentions behind actions. Both perspectives are valid, and that's the beauty of this kind of narrative. It sparks conversation, fuels engagement, and keeps the drama alive across social media platforms. As you reflect on what you've just watched, consider the emotional stakes involved. Relationships, loyalty, trustees are not just abstract concepts. They're real, tangible elements that influence interactions, behavior, and ultimately, the perception fans have of the individuals involved. Joe Rogan's role in highlighting these patterns isn't about judgment, it's about observation, about shedding light on the subtle signs that most people overlook. And that's why it's crucial for fans to stay engaged, not just as passive viewers, but as active participants in analyzing, discussing, and sharing perspectives. Your engagement doesn't stop at watching, it continues in the comments, in the social media posts, and in the way you interact with the story. Have you noticed patterns that Joe didn't highlight? Do you see gestures, tones, or behaviors that add another layer to the narrative? Now is the time to share those observations, to weigh in, and to be part of the larger conversation. Every comment, every analysis, every theory contributes to a fuller understanding of the story, and it allows fans to collectively piece together the puzzle. Your perspective could shine a light on details others may have missed, helping to build a comprehensive picture of the drama at hand. Liking and subscribing are not just formalities, they're a way to ensure you stay connected, to keep up with the unfolding narrative as new details emerge. This story is dynamic. It's alive, evolving, and each revelation adds another layer of intrigue. Subscribing ensures you're part of the journey from the very beginning to the most shocking twists, giving you front-row access to the unfolding drama. Liking videos shows support, signals engagement, and amplifies the conversation, allowing more fans to join in, dissecting, analyzing, and debating the nuances we've explored. Share your theories with friends, family, or online communities. Discuss your interpretations of the gestures, the subtle shifts, the private moments versus public statements. The beauty of this type of content is that it invites discussion, not just passive viewing. Every interaction, every shared clip, every theory adds depth to the narrative, creating a fan-driven analysis that's as compelling as the content itself. Your perspective matters. Your insights could redefine how others view the events, bringing fresh angles or raising questions that haven't yet been considered. And don't forget, the story doesn't end here. Patterns continue to evolve, gestures continue to reveal subtle truths, and private moments will always be under scrutiny by fans and observers alike. Staying engaged means you're part of a living narrative, witnessing the story as it unfolds, ready to respond, analyze, and react in real time. The drama, the speculation, the emotional twists, they're not just entertainment, they're a participatory experience, and your engagement keeps it alive. So, fans, take a moment to reflect on what you've seen, revisit the clips, analyze the interactions, and share your interpretations. Do you see signs that confirm Joe's observations? Do you confirm Joe's observations? Do you notice contradictions, subtleties, or shifts that others may have missed? Your comments and discussions aren't just feedback, they're contributions to the collective understanding of this unfolding drama. Every voice adds value, every perspective matters, and together, we build a narrative richer than any single observation could provide. Before you leave, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a moment of the unfolding story. Comment below with your thoughts, your observations, your theories. What do you really think about Erika's gestures, her subtle shifts, and the patterns Joe highlighted? What might these signs reveal about her intentions, her loyalty, or the emotional dynamics at play? Your insight could be the key to unlocking perspectives that others haven't considered. This is more than a story, it's a puzzle, a drama, and a collective fan investigation. Every like, comment, and share ensures that you're not just watching from the sidelines, you're part of the narrative, shaping the conversation, and helping fans worldwide engage with the story on a deeper level. The drama is ongoing, the patterns continue to evolve, and your participation ensures that you're at the center of it all. So, fans, Dive in, engage with the content, share your observations, debate the interpretations, and stay connected to every twist, turn, and revelation. Your voice matters here. You're not just watching, you're contributing, analyzing, and shaping the story. Don't miss a moment. Like, subscribe, comment, and let the discussion continue. The drama is far from over, and it's fans like you who make it unforgettable. Stay engaged, stay observant, and remember, the story isn't just what's revealed, it's also what you notice, interpret, and share. Your insight could change the narrative entirely. Fans, this is your chance to be part of something bigger, to contribute to a drama that's capturing attention worldwide. Don't just watch, participate, analyze, and help uncover the hidden layers. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. Your voice matters. Your observations matter. The story continues, and you are at the heart of it.